Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is Dr. Brandy B, and I am here for today's episode of Focus on It Friday. Come on in, guys. Come on in. It's such a delight to have you, so come on in. We're much earlier than we have been these last few weeks, so look at us. We are on a roll. Come on in, guys. I hope to not hold you too long today. I do want to give you just some good news, some nuggets that I thought about. Thought that it would be very interesting to be able to share with you today, to share some things with you. We've got Miss Patricia Pruitt, who is watching, and we also have Karen Renata Smith. Thank you for watching. We've got Prem Kumar Mani is watching. Thank you all for joining. Come on in. Stay with us as long as you can, or as long as you find us interesting. Come on in to Dr. Brandy B's Focus on It Friday, where today we are talking about the awareness in Mental Health Awareness Month. Of course, May every year is Mental Health Awareness Month. Green is the color, and that is what we are here today. Miss Patricia says, have a great day, and you as well. Guys, I don't know if it's my allergies or what. I have been to see the allergist. He gave me a recommendation that was $300-400, so I rolled off from it. So if I start snorting and it sounds like I'm not breathing and talking well at the same time, it's probably because I'm not. But I am here. I was not going to miss this opportunity to be with you all for Focus on It Friday. Mama says, hello, Dr. Brandy B. And I say, hello, Mama. Miss Karen says, hey, Dr. Brandy B. Hey, girl. Miss Trisha King says, hi, Dr. Brandy B. Hello there. And who else? Miss Patricia says, Dr. Pruitt. Come on in. This is cloudy outside, guys, but we will not be discouraged today. We've got a good word. It's a quick word, good word nonetheless, and we are going to give it to you all. Now my nose wants to run, but like I said, we're going to finish. We're going to get through this. We're going to give just one more minute, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I hope that if you all are at work, you're having a good day at work. Miss Karen says that she's driving and losing signal, but will be back shortly. That's right. Be safe. Take your time. If you can, pull over, but always you can catch the replay. I love having you all with me. Mama says, looking good, Dr. Brandy B. Yes, thank you, Mom. If nobody else blows me up, Mama is going to give me some support. I love Mama for that. Leah Wynn says, can't believe I missed last Friday's live. Don't panic, though. Dr. Leah is back. We love having you, Dr. Leah. We're going to bring you on live one day, girl. You are definitely missed when you are not here. We are so glad that you are back with us. Dr. Leah got a couple of answers right 2 weeks ago, and she is a now self-proclaimed doctor, and we are so glad to have her in our midst. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I am Dr. Brandy B, your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, through my best-selling book, Shine, Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be a Star, and through my speaking engagements, I help worried moms, dads, educators, and all who love children get the education that they need so that they can be, those children and parents can be successful in the classroom and in life. Today we want to talk about, guys, awareness, right? Awareness. So awareness, of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the color is green, so I'm wearing my green. But it is during this month that we focus on bringing mental health awareness, right? And when you look at some of the groups that focus on autism spectrum disorder, they're like, hey, we don't want autism awareness, we want autism acceptance. And I like that, because being aware of something is not enough, and that's why we're going to talk about the last step of being aware is to do something, to take action. So we want to talk about that today. So before we get started, there's all this talk about mental health. And I think that people get mental health and mental illness because people don't want to say mentally ill. But if there is something, and we talked about this, I think it was a week or two ago, that was when Dr. Leah was on. Y'all need to check that one out. It's the one where we did Q&A. Yeah, because last week we talked about adult ADHD. The week before, we talked about what all of the different mental illnesses are. We went through them. Guys, you really want to check that out. It was a really good one. But if something is healthy, right, that means that anything that's healthy could at some point become not healthy, and then it's ill, it's sick. And so with your mental health, that is where you are being emotionally, psychologically, and socially sound and well. Emotionally, psychologically, and socially. And if you think about our DSM that we use to make all of our mental health diagnoses, they all say that in addition to whatever the symptoms are that you may or may not meet criteria for, and those that the symptoms that lead to the diagnoses, if you meet the criteria, then it also must impact your social, your work, your emotion. It must impact something else. So it's not just enough to have the symptoms. Because if you have the symptoms and you're going about your day and you're not bothering anybody and nobody else is bothered and you're still getting your job done or your schoolwork done, then it may not be that it's a problem. That may just be your personality. But mental health is your emotional, psychological, and your social well-being. And then your mental health affects how you think, feel, and act. Think, feel, and act. And so you might say, well, why in the world is ADHD a mental illness? Well, it is in our book because emotionally you can see, if you deal with people who have ADHD, that they are emotionally different. You will also find that they behave or act very differently, impulsively, erratically, not focusing at the most simplest of them. All right. So you got emotional, psychological, and social well-being. That makes up your mental health. And then that determines how you feel, think, and act. And then ultimately, your mental health determines how you handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. If your mental illness is substance abuse, for example, you may not interact with others. You may make choices that are not healthy and that either cause you to break the law, break some other social norm, not stand up to your responsibilities like going to work so you can pay child support. Or when you're intoxicated because of your substance abuse, that may cause you to break some other social norms like beating up on your spouse or driving and killing somebody while you're intoxicated, right? So I cannot stress this enough. Mental health, we all have that, or we all strive to. So when people say, I don't have no mental health, okay. We all want mental healthiness, right? Where you are psychologically, socially, and emotionally sound. That then leads to you behaving, thinking, and feeling in a way that's appropriate. And it also means that you are able to handle stress, to relate to others socially, and also to make healthy choices. So then, what does it mean if you don't have those things? What if it means if you're constantly making bad choices, you're constantly behaving in a way that is not acceptable, that is illegal, that is inappropriate, or emotionally you are a wreck? Then it means that you need to get some help for that. The help could just be, speaking with someone at your church, speaking with your best friend or your spouse, or it could be getting a professional outside of a religious network that can help you. But I want to talk about these things that you must change, because in order for us to say something is different or unique, and we need help, it also means that we must change, right? So when we're thinking about mental health and being aware of it and accepting others who have mental illness, because mental health awareness really to me is a misnomer. Unless we're just talking about making people aware of what it means to be mentally healthy. What we really want people to be aware of is mental illness, not mental health. But I think even in the field of mental health, we get confused and we want to tiptoe around stuff. But y'all know me. I'm going to just tell you what it is. Miss Karen says she pulled over to listen. Awesome. We're so glad you did. That way you can keep safe primarily, and then hopefully your sound can stay. All right. So what is it that we must change if we are mentally ill in order to get mentally healthy? Or even if we want to accept or understand people, we have to change our thinking. We have to change our beliefs. We have to change our feelings, and we have to change our actions. So what is it about our thinking? I've heard this week, ADHD is not real. It's made up, right? That is a way of thinking. And imagine that and believe that and know that your thinking as an adult is largely structured and framed by what your parents thought before you and what they taught you. So whenever I hear somebody say mental illness is not real, ADHD is not real, you're not depressed, just swallow some water, that makes me think that it was an uncomfortable topic for someone before them, and so they have disregarded it, and so that's what the person is doing too. So don't disregard mental illness. We must change our way of thinking about it in order to be able to accept it and be aware of it. Because if our thinking is like that, it's not real, it's made up, I'll be over it when I wake up, then we are not going to be able to handle it if and when it confronts us. All right, so we got to change our thinking. The next thing we need to do is change our feelings. We need to change our feelings. First thing we need to do is really to not just change them, but to admit our feelings. I was talking to somebody earlier today. I could tell something was wrong, and I'm fine. As a matter of fact, 2 people called me today just for this call. And I said, what's wrong? Oh, I'm fine. Well, I could tell that you're not fine. If I say what's wrong, that means I already sense that you're not fine. Because what's wrong is not a question that I typically ask. So the person said, I'm just okay. It's nothing. So the first thing we have to do in order to change is to admit our feelings. We're not always going to be happy. We're not going to always be joyous. I'm always searching for it, and I'm always striving for it, and mostly it's still there. But joy may not be something that you're always going to have, and certainly happiness is based on what's happening. Happiness is what's based on what's happening. So that means that we want to keep some joy because happiness comes and goes. But when it comes to feelings, we have to admit when we're down. And how do you know if it's a problem? If you're down for a consistently long time. A month of being down, not wanting to go out, not wanting to do this or do that, and those were the things that you like to do, that could be problematic. And so we may need to get that looked into. This could be being aware of or changing how we feel about, address, and what we do about mental illness. So we've got to change our feelings only in the fact that we need to be able to admit them. So if you are a person who normalizes your feelings. Now, somebody said to me, well, we never see you sad. And I said, well, of course I get sad. But if I am the psychiatrist and I come to work and I'm sad and I'm crying about all of my issues all the time, so much so that my patients feel like they can't tell me theirs, then that's a problem. That means that I cannot perform my job. And if I cannot perform my job, that by definition is problematic when it comes to a mental illness. But we do have to be willing to, every once in a while, I will tell my patients. Well, they say, well, does ADHD affect your house? It does. My husband comes on here all the time and talks about having ADHD. So I'll tell people how that is, you know, how it was living with somebody, how it is living with someone who has ADHD. It is not for the weak or the faint of heart. You have to know what you're getting into, and a lot of people don't. And so that's why I'm here. But we have to be able to admit our feelings when we are not feeling well. That is a part of being aware. So mental health awareness is not just about recognizing it and being aware of it in other people, but being aware of it, being open to it in yourself, and being willing to change, right? Because we just can't be aware. That's not enough. We need to do the next step, which is to take some action. Now, so we got to change the way of our thinking. It doesn't exist. It's not real. We need to change the way of our feelings. I don't want to admit it. I'm fine. I'll be okay. You may be okay, but if there's somebody there that can help you, why not let them? David says, amen. David Williams, hello, hello, hello. Augustine Anuforo, thank you for joining. I think I saw my cousin Anne-Marie Marable coming in. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all. All right, the next thing we need to change, mental health awareness. Mental health, change my thinking, change my feelings, beliefs. Some of us say, I'm just going to believe in God. And that's excellent. If you know me at all, you know I definitely believe in God. I'm a woman of so much faith that after having 2 boys, I said I'm going to have the next one is going to be a girl, and I'm going to name her Faith. So I named Faith before she was conceived because I had that much faith and that much belief in God. But God gives us doctors. God gives us red lights, and we follow those, right? If we didn't have that, whoever invented that, right, we wouldn't have order on the streets. If we didn't have cars, and we believe in cars, we get in cars every day. We believe in them. We believe in chairs. We believe that they're going to sit down and hold, when we sit down, that they're going to hold us. But we substitute our belief in God in saying that when it comes to mental health, he's going to take care of it. And I believe, and it may be that I'm biased, because I'm a woman of faith, and I'm also a woman who believes in medicine. But I believe that when we need something, and we've got doctors that help us, we go to the doctor for everything else. People that believe in COVID treatment until they got sick, come running to the hospital for oxygen. Right? And so that's what we need to do. God will help us. He will heal us. But we have mental health people. Not enough, but we have them. Really good ones who will help us with therapy. That's talk therapy. We have animal therapy. We have music therapy. We have specific therapy for anxiety, specific therapy for depression, specific therapy for borderline personality disorder, specific therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder. And then we have medications if those things aren't working alone and you need to add something in. We have people that treat ADHD. We have people that treat oppositional defiant disorder, depression, anxiety. We have people that treat PTSD. We have people that even work on substance abuse. Bless their hearts, because they have a hard job before them, because many people don't realize that substance abuse is a relapsing and remitting disease, which means that it relapses and you don't have the symptoms, and then it relapses when the symptoms are present, and then it remits when they go away. Most people think you go to drug rehab one time, right? This is a misbelief. You go to drug rehab one time and you're done. Nope. Many more times before a person is done. So we have to change our beliefs about what treatment looks like and who will heal us and how we will receive healing. We will receive healing. There is healing. There can be healing. But just like when I went to my doctor last Friday, or when I go to any other doctor, right? I went to the dermatologist and said, hey, help me with the blemishes, right? I got to follow what they say do. I went to my hairstylist. I said, hey, we want to get it up. I got to follow what they say do. Otherwise, belief and not working is dead. So we've got to believe, but believing means doing something. Somebody out there say they single and they believe that God gonna send them a man, but they don't leave the house. You're not on any dating sites. You're not anywhere in real life. You work in an office with just women, but you want a man. So you got to go somewhere and at least make yourself presentable so that they know you exist. I don't think they're going to land in your house. And so it is with mental health. So mental health awareness, mental health change. Change the way I think. Know that it is real. Quit telling folks it's not real. Just whip your baby. What? Quit telling people just get over it. Do you think that people want to be sad such that they are just going to be living in sadness indefinitely? No, quit telling people that. Quit telling people if I were you, because you're not them. And even if y'all are identical twins, you're experiencing things and feeling things that are different. Quit telling people back in my day. Well, it ain't your day. You didn't even know what a phone was in your day. Phone numbers had letters in your day. So it's not the same. It's not. All right, then we want to change our thinking, change our feelings. Well, I feel that I don't need to tell anybody. I just want to keep it to myself. Change the way you approach your feelings, the way you share. Now, I'm not saying get on a broadcast, because, you know, if you start telling too many people too much stuff, they think it's a little bit weird and wacky, and they are not having your best interest at heart. So you have to watch out for that. Third thing, you want to change your beliefs, right? Keep believing who it is that you believe. Keep believing what it is that you believe. But make sure you're believing in totality, in total, all of it. And not just stopping at belief, and knowing that you can have God, a therapist, some medicine, some meditation, some prayer, some deep breathing, some church, some Bible study. You can have all of that stuff together. And lastly, we're talking about Mental Health Awareness Month. We want to talk about our actions. So we talked about changing our thinking, changing our feelings, changing our beliefs, or at least acting on our beliefs. And then the last thing is action. Nothing happens without you doing something to make it happen. Sure, people say, this job just landed in my lap. That job landed in your lap, but you've done some other things in the past that made whoever or whatever, when the job came open, they thought of you and said, I know this person, right? It wasn't just because you were born that the job just fell in your lap. It was because you did something. You took action. You may have even gotten help because you voiced a need to somebody and you said, I need help. And so then people helped you with a job, with food, with money, with bills, with finding the husband that you wanted to, right? Because you can stay at home and you can say, I'm a homebody, but I want to tell my good friend who's always out and about, if you see somebody, let me know. So we must take action. Mental health awareness is not just about having the knowledge and being aware of mental health and mental illness, but it's doing the next step and saying, I'm not well, I need to do something about it. We absolutely want you to be alive, but not just living. Being alive means enjoying life, taking full advantage of life, doing things in life, and that is what we want everybody to do. So very short today, but I want to just remind everybody that in this month of mental health awareness, sit back and really look at your life. If you spend more time crying, sad, and alone than you do rejoicing, enjoying time with others, and being happy or joyous, then it may be something to it. If you've spent this last month of school hollering at your kids, whipping your kids, degrading your kids, and you've done that all school year and their grades still haven't changed, it may be the cell phone, but it may not. It may be that something else is going on. If your child's teacher has called you all year saying, Johnny is a disruption, Keisha is not quiet, Lulu can't stay seated, it may be that the teacher is picking on your child, but it may be that your child is doing these things and the teacher is warranted in calling you. So we have to make sure that we're being honest with ourselves, honest with our spouses, honest with the people we're co-parenting with, but most of all, honest with yourself. Because if you're honest with yourself, then all of the other stuff becomes super, super easy. So that is all I have for today. If you all need anything, you reach out. If you're my patient, of course, call the office wherever you are seen. But I do want you to make sure that you do something to protect your mental health today. It could be reading a book. It could be walking outside. It could be going to the bathroom if you're a mother of small kids, closing the door and putting your speakers in and not paying attention to the kids as they're out there knocking. It could be any of that. But I want you to do something that makes you happy. Do something for you. I've started giving people gifts, like Mother's Day gifts. And if it was money, there was a specification rather on it that they had to do something for themselves. Because again, as mothers, this is still our week. We end up doing stuff for our kids all the time. And believe it or not, being a mom, being a dad, being a parent, being a human being will wear on your mental health. It will, because people are a lot to deal with. Human beings are something else. And so we sometimes have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so that we can take care of all the people that we do at home, on our jobs, and everywhere else. Mama says very good information as always. I appreciate that, Mama. So we want to make sure that as we are becoming more aware of mental health this month, that we're also making the changes that are necessary to keep ourselves mentally healthy and also those around us. All right, if there is nothing else, I will see you all next week. If you all need anything, let me know. But until, I must tell you, I'm Dr. Brandy B. I'm the author of the best-selling book, Shine, Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be a Star. You can get a copy of that book at www.shineadhdbook.shop. That's SHINEADHDbook.shop. It's HOP. $20, and then that'll get it to your house so you can read it and know what's going on. But until next time, I love you all. I hope that you all have an amazing weekend, and that you all are staying safe and mentally and psychologically healthy. Talk to y'all later. Bye. I'll see you next Friday, Dr. Brandy B. I swear. All right, I'll be looking for you, Dr. Leah. Bye-bye.